Underwater Conversations, The Day I Learned I Could Speak Below the Surface by Ryan Wotton. The chapters of this book alternate between the reality of life as Ryan Wotton living as a non-speaking autistic individual and his imaginative alternate universe where his senses shape the world around him. Life Before the Waves. In Chapter 1 I talk about being stuck in a prison of silence for 16 years. Praying to God that one day I could speak. Jumping into Freedom. Chapter 2 dives into my imagination and combines a creative tale with my true sensual connection to H2O. While this chapter is fictional, it is a true depiction of how I feel in my body and what I dream about. In Chapter 3 I get a whole new life when I travel to Virginia and meet Evie. She teaches us how to use a letterboard and how to find my true self. In Chapter 4 I share some of my underwater adventures. Once I learned the gift of the sea, I wanted to be there all the time. Each trip to the water brought me on a new adventure. Finding friends. I started attending online groups and for the first time in my life found friends. True friends. My body still challenges me, but I am hanging out with friends in person and online all the time. In Chapter 6 I introduce you to Layla as we spend the night surfing under a full moon. Hard work pays off. In Chapter 7 I talk about the accomplishments I've had so far and how every intentional step of the way has been incredibly hard and joyfully worth it. When winter comes to Maine. Chapter 8 begins when ice comes to Maine. The water is too cold to go in. It's the silencing of my soul and aches of yearning for summer. This couldn't end, I wouldn't let it. I had an idea, just for the winter. You do not want to miss this tale. The sky is the limit to what I can do. I will travel, I will gain better control over my body, my brain, and independence. My future is bright. When I think of you, I think of me, floating my dreams with the tide of the sea, running and spinning in the gold-speckled sand that melts with the tide as I hold your hand. Jumping in the waves and sometimes getting knocked down, laying in the sunshine, heating my heart. While I wish for this day never to end, I smile at the thought that it happened again. I hope you enjoyed this preview of Underwater Conversations. To be continued. About the author, Ryan Wotton. Ryan is an 18-year-old non-speaker who lives in Waldoboro, Maine. Ryan is an avid hiker and songwriter. At age 16, Ryan finally found a way to communicate when he met a beautiful human named Elizabeth Vosseller, who taught him about spelling to communicate, S2C. S2C is a motor-based communication program that has changed his world. Ryan compares life before S2C to living in a prison of silence. He now believes his future is bright. Ryan's greatest accomplishment so far is finding God and true friends.